All right, so I'm just going to start talking, right? So I'm Noël, and this is HR Armor, all things discrimination, retaliation, hostile work environment, difficult workplace. And I am here today because people are like, when you going live? When you going live? So I'm like, okay, then I'm going to go live now so you guys can hear what I'm saying, so I can give you guys an update on everything happening with HR Armor and also some of my clients and some of the members as well. So I want to just give you guys a quick update for everything. So we have just deployed a brand new version of the mini me inside of HR Armor. And so thank you, Aries, for confirming you can hear me. Okay. So we have just confirmed the mini me version 2 inside of HR Armor membership. So mini me is literally me in your back pocket. So I have built intelligence engines so that you can put your situation into the engine, and it can tell you what to do after you have a conversation with it. It can navigate the situation with you as if you were speaking to me directly. That is in HR Armor. And remember how to join HR Armor, how to become a member is to go to hr-armor, ARMOR.com/links. And that's how you get in. So let me just start with this, right? Because I want this to be an open conversation, but I want to just start with this. Because I have a lot of people telling me, oh, I just use ChatGPT. I just use Claude. I just use Gemini. I just use X, Y, and Z. And then 2 weeks later, they contact me and they're like, uh-oh, I just got terminated. And I asked them, what happened? Tell me what happened before you got terminated. They're like, oh, I put my situation in. I was talking to ChatGPT. Let me tell you, I was just in a meeting with my HR Armor members, and we were just talking about this. I was like, thank you for telling me and reminding me this to say this live, right? So the issue with AI is when they tell you situations, when you put in your information in, it gives you general information. You may think it's specific to your situation, but it's not. It gives you general information. And when you take that back to your supervisor, to your manager, to your leadership, to your job, and then all of a sudden you get terminated, or all of a sudden something adverse happens, it's not because AI is wrong. It's not because ChatGPT is wrong. It's because it's out of the wrong sequence. It's not in the right sequence. It's out of the pattern. Everything that I built, all the engines that I have built, is based on my 30 years of executive HR experience. So I'm not just saying it to say it. I'm saying it because I've lived it. I've built it. I have experienced it on both sides. And so when I have built the intelligence engines, I built it based on all of that knowledge, all of that lived experience. This is not like just book experience. Yes, I do have degrees, this and that, certification. So what, right? I have the experience. And that is what makes the difference. And that is why when you speak to me, I help you and I support you in understanding the sequence so you can get the pattern so that you can do things the right way. That is what ChatGPT doesn't do. So people who are like, I'm going to depend on ChatGPT, good luck. Good luck. It's not ChatGPT's fault. It's just what it is. It's just, again, it's all about you feeding in information, and it's spitting back information to you. It doesn't know your situation. It doesn't know it hasn't lived this. It doesn't know your emotional feelings. It doesn't know what your supervisor is going to do next. It can try to predict things, but it predicts it wrong 9 times out of 10. And I'm not just saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying it because I've tested this. I've tested this with hundreds and thousands of people who literally contact me every day on DMs and want to get inside of HR Armor because ChatGPT, Gemini has failed them. So I'm just saying that to say this. I have built these engines based on my own experience. So if you want to get in, if you want to, thank you, Aries, for that awesomeness. Appreciate you. If you want to get in, if you want to really use a GPT that's going to support you in your workplace, join HR Armor. The link is in the bio. You can go into my website, hr-armor, ARMOR.com, and join there and have direct access to true intelligence that's going to help you navigate these workplace situations. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I just wanted to put that plug in because people ask the question, and that's where you have it. I have built these, and now version 2 is now live on the mini me inside of HR Armor. So feel free to join their HR Armor dash, oh my gosh, I can't even, HR-armor.com. Okay. Go ahead. I'm not a promoter, right? That's not what I do, right? I do HR. That's what I do. I do HR for you. That's what I do. Okay. The other thing I was just going to talk about is sequence in general, right? Because I have a lot of people who are coming to me who already have attorneys. They already have attorneys. They are already in situations deep, right? And they always are telling me stuff that the attorneys are doing. And the first thing I'm asking is, where's your attorney getting their information? Because again, let me just say this. There's a difference between having book smart and there's a difference between having experience smart. So there's a difference between experiencing it yourself, whether that is in a professional environment, a personal environment, or otherwise, and just having studied it in some other capacity. Some of these other HR type people are out there like, do this, do that. And some of these ex-managers are like, do this, do that. You can already, well, listen, maybe you can't tell, but I can tell they were already mediocre managers. They were already mediocre HR people because the advice they give you is going to get you fired. That's all I'm going to say, right? And again, it's not that everyone is bad. It's that everyone is doing the best that they can do, and their knowledge is just based on their own experience, and their experience just happens to differ from mine. So it's not that I'm always right, but I know that my experience is based on things that I have personally been through and things that I have personally witnessed on both sides. See, for me, I was not only a chief of HR, a director of HR, a VP of HR, a founder right now. I'm a founder of an HR company, right? Not only that, but the system turned on me too, because it's not if it happens, it's when. Because the system turns on all of us. None of us are exempt. So if you think you are, just wait. Wait and just watch. Just watch. You may not understand it, but you will. It's not if, it is when. Because it comes for all of us. It's all the same. The system is the company. HR protects the company. The lawyers for the company protect the company. The board for the company protects the company. Everybody protects the company, and who protects you, right? So that's why HR Armor is here. That's why I created it. That's why HR Armor exists. I did not create this because I had to. I created it because this is my passion. I am one of the very lucky people on this planet who knows exactly why I am here. And I am here to help people navigate this in a way that they can then stand on my shoulders and not walk the path that I had to when I experienced this in the workplace myself, when I was discriminated against, when I was retaliated against, when I was in hostile work environment, toxic workplaces, bad bosses, bad supervisors, bad leadership, backstabbing coworkers. You know what I'm saying, right? You guys know what I'm saying. Yeah, thank you for those hearts. Thank you for that love. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So that's how it is. That's how it is. And that's why I'm here. Not because I have to be, but because this is my choice. This is my passion. This is what I am meant to do. Is to make sure that I am sharing this love and sharing this information to make sure y'all don't experience this too. So thank you for those claps and thank you for those hearts. I appreciate that a lot. All right. So you all tell me again, this is a rescheduled live. I don't think I'm going to be scheduling live again because honestly, life happens, right? And it's important for me to be fluid with this, just like I tell you all to be fluid. Thank you, Hassan. Like you guys are being fluid. I got to be fluid. So I'm going to just try to get on when I can get on, and you guys catch me when you can. I have just started a podcast. Can you believe it? It was asked by you all. You all asked me to do the podcast, so I just launched it. I will be recording the episode 2 today after this, and that's going to go live next week. So you guys make sure you find me on YouTube. That's where the video version, which is out of this world, is posted there on YouTube. Just do Noël HR Armor. You'll find me. Watch it. Watch the video. It is a long version of me just talking about different stuff. Today, when I'm going to be recording it, it's going to be out of this world, what I'm going to be talking about, because I'm going to just be like, bam, bam. They don't want me to talk about this. I get HR people in my feed all the time, like telling me, you create monsters. Seriously, they call people monsters. I'm like, if you call another people monsters, look at that mirror, right? If somebody else is a monster, then who are you? Who are you? So don't be telling people that they're monsters just because they want knowledge, just because they want to protect themselves, just because they want information. They're not monsters. We are not monsters. We just want more from our employer. We want more from the environment. Like, we just want more from people just doing the right thing and not trying to screw us over for doing the right thing, right? For us doing our job well. We don't want that. And these HR people, they don't understand. Like, half the people are like, ugh. The other half are like, yay. So that's just my own internal world, my own internal vision. So you guys can be in a looking glass looking in. So you all tell me again, because this is impromptu. I know it's rescheduled live, but you all tell me, and I appreciate all the hearts. I'm looking at 2 different screens here. That's how I'm going back and forth. Tell me what you guys, what questions you have. I'm going to try to show up a little bit more now that I have neutralized my schedule a little bit more, to give me more space to create, more space to educate, more space to share, more space to train. And remember, if you always want, if you need one-on-one, if you need support, if you need access, you guys know how to find me, right? hrarmor.com. That's how you find me. Google me, whatever. I'm trying, right? I'm trying to be on Google, whatever. Even if I'm not, you'll find me there, okay? So you guys tell me, what questions do you have? Olivia, thank you. I can't wait till you watch it too. You're going to love it. Actually, I want feedback, okay? I don't want to just say you're going to love it, because I absolutely love it. But I want you, seriously, give me feedback. Tell me what you guys think. The graphic and things, I'm looking down, like my dog. If I can move this, my dog is like right down by my feet. I can't move. I'm going to fall backwards. Don't let me fall backwards on screen. That would not be, it would be funny, not funny, right? So don't let me fall backwards. I'm moving a lot, but I got to make sure I don't move so much, because the dog is here and I will fall, honestly. Okay, so you guys, seriously, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Look at it, listen to it, tell me what you think, especially as I'm trying to get my rhythm in, right? I used to train executives. On this, and that's why the system started turning on me, because not only was I training executives on navigating discrimination, hostile work environment. What is discrimination? What does that look like? How to deal with employees, how to deal, managing up, not only teaching and educating supervisors and leadership and executives, I was also educating employees, because they needed to know their rights. Employees have a right to know their rights. And every time I would start to do that, then the system would turn on me. And they would literally remind me, not even a joke, right? They would say verbatim, "You don't work for employees, Noël. You work for us. We pay your salary." And I said, okay, cool, but employees still need to know their rights. And what is human resources if we're not going to tell employees what their rights are? Because that's what I'm going to do. And they couldn't stop me, right? They never stopped me. And that's why they turned on me. They turned on me because I was educating employees. I'm doing exactly this. And now I'm doing this for my own way. I'm doing HR my own way. I'm doing HR in a way to fully support employees in a way that you guys should know what the laws are, what your rights are, how to navigate workplace situation, because it's like a maze. It is. It's a maze. There's so much in and out and way. Like if you do something the wrong way, like using ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT is going to say this. You say it. Next thing you written up, and then you texting me in DMs, "Noël, what do I do? I use ChatGPT." Don't do it. Just don't, right? So if you got a problem, go to somebody that you trust who know it. Come to me. And if you don't come to me, so what, right? My point is, I just want to stop people from experiencing what I experience in the workplace. So whether you get that support through me or whether you get it through another resource, please use your resources and get the support that you need to not navigate these situations alone, because workplaces are unforgiving. I got clients who are close to a deadline, right? They got, for a report of investigation, right? If they got to respond to that case, to that situation, and they are really close to the deadline, and they're like, uh-oh, I need more time to gather my documentation. I need more time to get more information. And they don't get that time. They email and they try to reach out to their leadership, to their companies, And the company, they think, is going to be like, yeah, we'll give you extra time. We'll give you more time to do it. The company's like, yeah, no. If you miss the deadline, you miss the deadline, and you get no second chances. You get no do-overs. You get no try again. And the employee is like, uh-oh, what happened? What do I do now? Like, meet the damn deadline. That's what you do. You turn it in half. Can I curse here? I don't know. Am I allowed to say certain words? I don't know. But that's what you say. You don't do it halfway. You do it 100%, or whatever you can do something, but meet the deadline. Stop missing the deadline. The companies, the other resources like EEOC, district court, whatever, they are unapologetic. They are going to be unforgiving if you miss a deadline. I am not even kidding. So make sure you know your dates, you know what the regulations say, you know what the laws say, you know what your rights are, and you make it within that window. You can try to get an extension, but don't count on it. Like, don't bet on that. Don't bet that they're going to give you an extension, because it's just not even going to work. It's not. I'm just telling you, like, it is rare that it works. And even if it works, they're going to try to get you on another technicality that you didn't even see coming. Because if you miss the deadline, most likely you missed something else, like a way to submit it. So before I jump into questions, because I see all these questions coming, I'm going to just say one more thing, right? Because what I do for fun is I actually read case law. That is what I do. I love to read like opinions from the court, what the court says, what was decided at an EEOC level. Like, I love that. I love reading the case. I love reading the opinions. I love reading how they interpreted the law. Like, that's what I love to do. I love to do it for fun. I enjoy it, right? So there was a recent case that has come out. There was an opinion, right? And this federal employee, she submitted everything. She was like, I got this proof of retaliation. I got this proof of discrimination. I got these notes. I got these tapes. It was in a consent state, right? I got these tapes. I got X, Y, G, F, F, whatever, right? She got all this stuff, all like a package of stuff. She was like, And that's what she did. She delivered it. She had somebody accept it, like one of those admin people in the front. They accepted it. They signed off. She was like, yeah, I good. Like, I just delivered it. Like, I served them. So what happened was, right, when it got to the court, they're like, uh-oh, you didn't serve them the right way. That was not the process that you were supposed to follow. You were supposed to do X, Y, and Z instead. But she didn't know that. So right now, the fight is the court going to allow her to file it the right way? Or is the court going to agree with the company and say, you don't get a second chance because you didn't do it right the first time? So it doesn't matter how she was treated. It doesn't matter what she experienced in the workplace. It doesn't matter about everything she went through, because she filed it, she submitted it, she did something out of sequence. And that is the importance of being and having and knowing and having experience of the sequence and having experience in the pattern. Because you don't get a do-over, because you got to get it right the first time, because they are unforgiving. Because even if you have proof of discrimination, even if you have proof of retaliation, even if you have proof of a hostile work environment, if you submit it the wrong way, if you submit it out of sequence, if you submit it out of processes, then your case is already over. You don't get a do-over. So here we go. Here we go. That's all I'm going to say about that. So again, I help people navigate this. So if you want me, you need one-on-one, or you want to be in the community so that you get access to the intelligence that I built that is stronger for workplace situations. Like, I'm not knocking ChatGPT. All I'm saying is that what I build is better. It's better because it's very specific to workplace situations, built on 30 years of data, 30 years of experience, 30 years of hard work, not 30 years of book smart only, right? Not that I don't have it, but I'm telling you all the extras that's thrown in that ChatGPT doesn't. So that's all I'm going to say. All right, cool. Okay. So what are your questions? What are your questions? I'm going to scroll up. Eric, we appreciate that information that you provided in this world of fire. I keep you on deck if I have any issues. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Yeah, reach out, right? And again, you don't have to reach out to me specifically. Trust. I do this because it's my passion, because I love to do it. But find your resources. Find somebody. Look up what you need. Don't just blindly submit stuff and like think it's going to stick, because you can have all the documentation in the world. Like, I get so tired of people saying, document, document. Like, again, you hear all these HR people, just document, just document. What does that mean, just document? It doesn't mean nothing if it's out of sequence. It doesn't mean nothing if it doesn't have the pattern behind it. You can document until your hands are numb. That doesn't mean you're going to win anything. It doesn't mean you have proved your point, right? Like, I'm talking real. It's like if you're trying to bake a cake, right? I just had the best chocolate cake. I'm just thinking about it right now. I had the best chocolate cake I've ever had, ever, last night. Best chocolate cake. Husband took me to this bakery place. That chocolate cake was a chocolate cake, and I'm a chocolate cake kind of person. It was a chocolate cake that I've never seen before in my life and tasted in my lifetime ever, regardless. It was the best cake ever. I tell you what, you try to make that chocolate cake, but you missing your flour, you missing your chocolate, you missing whatever else they put in that chocolate cake, you're not going to get a chocolate cake because you don't have the right ingredients. It's just like this. It's just like a situation in your workplace. If you don't have everything that you need together, if you don't know the laws, if you don't know the rules, if you don't know the policies, the procedures, if you don't have your facts, if you don't have the dates, if you don't know when to submit it, at what time, who to submit it to, and what to say in that submission, then it's going to be a bad chocolate cake. It's going to be flat. It's not going to be good. It's not going to make you win. That's the point. That's the point about making sure that you know the pattern. That's why I teach this. You know the sequence. That's why I teach this, right? That's why I do this. The sequence and the pattern matters. So people just saying, document, 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 doesn't mean much. Doesn't mean much. Okay. All right, here we go. Now for your questions. Here we go. So question. Was let go during the 4th day of orientation. Oh boy, now that's fast. No write-up, no meeting. Now I was hired as agency, but I'm shocked that they didn't call me in or anything. Said I had poor communication. How vague is that? So what was the reason for termination? Like, why did they let you go? Tell me more, Brian. Tell me more as to why they let you go on the 4th day of orientation and saying that you had poor communication. What about your communication on the 4th day of orientation was poor? Honestly, because when people go through orientation, people are naturally like confused, right? There's a lot happening at orientation. You got benefits docs, you got pay docs, you got to prove your identity, you got I-9 information. Like, there's a lot, like, you got emergency contact, dependent information. You got so much stuff coming at you in orientation that if you get any of those numbers wrong, like if you miss a number on your account, you're not going to get your paycheck, right? Again, sequence, right? You can have all the numbers of your bank account there on the paper, but if you invert a 0 and a 1, you're not going to get your paycheck. Same thing. That's why, again, when people are like, document, 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 that's cool, that's great, great. But what does that mean? What does that mean to document if you're going to put it in the wrong sequence? It's like, again, you putting in your wrong bank account information to get your paycheck. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You're not going to get paid. So if the documentation is out of sequence, it's not going to work. Make sense? I hope I'm making sense here, right? I hope that's making sense. I see those laughing. That's funny. Hope that's making sense. All right. Next question. Here we go. I've never seen HR during my whole ordeal, but received a final notice. Who did you get your notice from? When you received your final notice, who issued your final notice and what exactly did it say? Because HR, let me just be honest about this, right? HR does not have to be in the room when you get your termination notice. They don't. Sometimes, and I've actually seen this happen, sometimes people are terminated through email. Sometimes people are on leave and they get a letter in the mail. So it's not necessarily the policy or the procedure that HR has to be in the room when you're terminated. Yes, it's good courtesy. Yes, it's professional. Yes, that's how it should be. But no, it's not how it always is. So the important thing to do in that situation is understand Who else was terminated? Who else was fired? Who else was given a termination letter and HR was not present? Was it only you? That's the pattern, right? Are you the only one who was terminated without HR being in a room? Are other people terminated without HR being in a room? How are other people treated when they are terminated? And are you different from all of those people? And once you see that, then you can say, okay, what are their races? What are their sexes? What are their genders? What are their religions? Are they married? And all that other protected classes stuff, right? But first, you gotta distinguish what is the difference, what should have happened versus what actually happened in your case. So I hope that helps, right? So go and check your policy, ask them. And if you don't have access to it, ask them. Send them an email. Hey, by the way, can you send me an email with the policies and procedure about firing, hiring, and so forth? Send them an email and get it in writing. Get it in writing. All right, here we go. Here's a question. Here we go. Good evening. Administrative leave would pay for 8 months due to whistleblower complaint and retaliation. Was told to cooperate. 8 months now and still no resolution except that I am being paid to stay home. Wait a second. So you are a whistleblower and you are actually on paid administrative leave for 8 months? 8 months? Tell me what your letter said. Now I'm very interested to know more, right? Again, this is me digging deeper. This is me triaging, getting more data before I respond to that. Because I feel like there's a lot of missing information that's going to help me to understand a little bit more. So I really want to know. Tell me more about that. Because if you're on administrative leave for that long, what's the next step? And why would you be on administrative leave for that long if you are the whistleblower? What did they break? What kind of law, rule, or regulation did they break for you to be put in an administrative leave status? So let me just key you guys in on something, right? Oh, look, Rashid said the same thing happened to him. Okay, listen, let me key you in on something. Typically, when people are put into an extended administrative leave status, it is because they are a risk to the organization, meaning that they are afraid that either the employee is going to cause harm to another employee. So that means physical harm or something like that. So they are deemed a risk in that manner, that fashion, or that the employee is going to cause harm to the organization, meaning that they're going to copy data, get more information, dig deeper and pull out more information to support their case that the company doesn't want you to have access to. Those are the only two reasons in which an extended administrative leave it typically happens. And even in those situations, you have to be put on notice with a document that tells you why you're being placed on administrative leave, how long you'll be placed on administrative leave, who your point of contact is, if you should be available during working hours, what that looks like. So basically how they can communicate with you while you're in this leave status. That is what typically happens when you've been put on an extended period of administrative leave. So it's not just a blanket, go home. It is here's your letter. This is what that looks like. These are the business-based reason for our decision, and this is what happens next. That's what you typically receive in that situation. So you got to tell me, Miguel, tell me some more. Tell me what actually happened with that. Tell me what happened there. All right, here we go. Brian, here we go. Poor communication. Okay, so this is back to the termination, right? Poor communication while we're waiting for Miguel, because we got to hear more about this, yeah? We got to hear more about this administrative leave for 8 months. Poor communication, said I didn't complete documentation on time, said I told the preceptor that I didn't give insulin to patient because I said I'll do it later after lunch. Okay. So where's the due process in that? Everybody's entitled to due process, even people on probation, right? Which means when someone has said you have poor communication and you are in orientation on your 4th day, what exactly does that mean about having poor communication? Because even if you are a subject matter expert in your field, even if you have all of these degrees, accolades, even if they hired you based on that experience, they still have to give you time to acclimate to the job, acclimate to the position. They still have to give you time to do that successfully before they can rate you on some type of communication style. So if they did not give you proper onboarding, which included how do you communicate? What do we consider poor communication? These are the minimum expectations. This is what you minimally must do. That's the terminology, right? Minimum expectations. This is what you must do in a minimum fashion in order to meet those expectations. So if none of that was given to you, and then you were terminated on the fourth day of orientation, then that's not technically giving you due process. That's not giving you your rights. That's not letting you know what the requirements were versus how you violated those requirements that would cause you to be terminated on your fourth day of orientation. So tell me more about that. Seriously, like what documentation didn't you complete on time on your fourth day of orientation? So the difference is, right? You said you were on orientation. You didn't say that you were 4 days after orientation actually on the job itself. So in an orientation period, I don't want to say it's like a trial period, but it's like a pre-period, right? Because you don't actually do work in orientation. Orientation means onboarding. It means that you are getting all of the information that you need to be successful in your position. That's what orientation means. It doesn't mean that you're being rated based on your performance during orientation, because there's nothing to rate you on because you're still being oriented into the company. Does that make sense? So like here terminology, right? Onboarding orientation is not work product. It's not doing the actual job yet. You're still onboarding. So I'm really curious as to how they justified that. Thank you, Johnny, for bringing that energy. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, Brian. And I asked my preceptor, how am I doing? And she said, I'm doing good, so I don't get it. Listen, I don't get it. You telling me your story through this, I don't get it either. I don't understand it. I don't understand the how they determined you were doing good in orientation, which you are orienting and not actually doing the job itself, and how that turned out. Okay. All right, Rashid. Oh, back to the investigation, right? Because you were under investigation for an extended period of time as well in an administrative leave, right? So you said they sent proof that contradicted what they said. The proof they presented show I didn't work off the clock. That then they asked for a conference call and told me that I actively violated timestamps. Tell me more about that. So if the documentation said that you did not work off the clock, how did they all of a sudden say that you violated timestamps? So again, you see, it's conflicting. It's conflicting. So it's one thing to violate timestamps, and it's another thing to say that you did not violate timestamps, but because you did not work off the clock, right? Like, so there's a conflict. There's something that doesn't make sense. And you say, which is impossible because I haven't even corrected my own time. Yeah, so who's the timekeeper? Maybe it was a system glitch. System glitches happen. Listen, I told you, in HR for 30 years. So I know system glitches happen all the time. It's much more common than it seems. And when system glitches happen, a lot of times managements are the first people to blame employees for not doing something, like not requesting time, not putting in your timesheet on time, not certifying your time, not including things that you should have included as far as your time and attendance coding. Like there's certain codes that you put, they include all of that too. So I've seen that during times of a system glitch, and for managers to blame employees for that. So I would say if you're ever in one of those situations, to make sure that you're immediately emailing IT or putting in a help desk ticket, as well as emailing your supervisor and the timekeeper and letting them know that there is some kind of system, there's some kind of glitch, there's some kind of malfunction with the time and attendance record keeping or the portal or whatever, to make sure that you covered. Because best and believe management will be blaming you. They're going to blame you. Hassan says he was terminated through text message. Oh, it's just terrible. It's just terrible how they treat people, right? You go what you get up, right? You get dressed, you leave your family, you leave your life, you spend time at work, and the only thing they can do is terminate you in a text. I don't know who else believes in karma. I don't care if you believe or don't believe, but it's real. It happens. Not just good karma, bad karma. They both happen. If you believe in bad karma, you should also believe in good karma. And that's why you treat people right. That's why you don't do stuff like that. That's why you don't degrade people and be unprofessional. There's nothing professional about treating somebody poorly through terminating them in a professional workplace through text in that capacity. Unless your only way of communicating has been through text. Disclaimer. So if the only way that you have communicated with somebody is through text, if that is the normal way that you have communicated, such as if you're a remote employee or if you're an interim worker or whatever, and if the only way you've communicated with that supervisor or that employer is through text, then fine. But if you're habitually reporting physically to work or habitually having meetings, even if it's Zoom, then the appropriate thing is to be told that you're being released through that way also. Okay. This is a great idea. Thank you. You are constructively fired. Okay. All right. Tell me, what other questions? I got time for one more question because I told you guys I got to go and get the next episode recorded for the podcast. If you have not seen the podcast, hop on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I'm on all the major platforms for that. You can listen to it while you're commuting or whatever. And you can see the video. I've actually recorded a video of the podcast too on YouTube. Search for Noël HR Armor and you'll be able to find it. And again, if you need support in something that you are personally dealing with, retaliation, discrimination, hostile work environment, difficult, toxic workplace, bad boss, bad coworker, triangulation, any of that, you can join HR Armor. So go to hr-armor.com to join the community to have direct access to me and direct access to all the intelligence engines that I have built that knock ChatGPT out of the water because it's built on bona fide experience, bona fide data, and bona fide professional work, having 30 years in executive HR. Okay, that's my last plugin. My last plugin. You can also find the link in the bio. Question, is it normally this long? Not necessarily. We are intrigued. Thank you, Miguel. So I have no idea if it's normally this long. Like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to schedule it, not schedule it, but I try to get to as many questions as I can while also getting in deeper. Okay. Last question. I'm looking, I'm scrolling. I have 2 screens open. I'm trying to see. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. Okay. All right. So maybe that's my cue. I just pressed something. I have no idea. All right. Let's see. Yep. I don't know. I just pressed something. Okay. So we will just table this. You're very welcome. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for stopping by. Remember, make sure that you are following, but make sure that you're also sharing, not just for you, but sharing for others, because the more people who are protected, the more people who have the knowledge, the more people who have the experience, the more people who know how to fight the good fight to protect your job, protect your career, protect your family in the workplace, the better all of us are, because everything is connected. So make sure you guys are protecting yourself in the workplace. And if you need me, you know how to find me, and I will see you guys later.